I have read the task and I think I have understood it. And this is my understanding of what we need to do. When we start our script, we're going to open the file that we created in the previous task. From that one, we are going to read two numbers. We're going to calculate the sum from those two numbers. We're going to display the sum, and then we're going to close the file. And when we've done that, we are at the end of the script. So this is my understanding of what we need to do. Let's create a script and get started. Okay, now that we have our script, let's see what we're supposed to do. We are supposed to start by opening the file that we created in the previous task. But now, looking at my flowchart, I see that there are two things to point out. One thing is that we're going to use error handling. So that is something that we have to think about and maybe add in the beginning. But there is one other thing. I have forgot to add the main function. So I want a main function in my script. But here we see we just start the script and then we run it. But I want a main function. So I'm going to add that, and then we're going to add all of these things in the main function. And as we can see here, I added a little bit of code. The first thing was the main function, as I said. I have added that. I also initialized two variables, first and second number. Yes, we know that these are the numbers that we will use, and they are 0 to begin with. We are using error handling, so I created the structure for that. My thinking is that, alright, in the try block here, we will add our code, which corresponds to what we have here. And then if we can't read the file for some reason, we will give an error for that. And if there is a problem with the numbers that we read, we get a different message, and a different error message. So that is the thought behind the code that we have so far. Now let's try to write the code for the steps that we have here. And here we can see that I have added a code for what we see in our flowchart, in our plan for how to solve the task. So first we open the file, and here we must tell that we're going to read the file. So that is what this is, and this is of course the name of the file that we're going to open that contains our two numbers. Next, we read the two numbers from the file. We do that here. We calculate the sum. We print it to the screen, and then we close the file. Let's try to run it and see what happens. And we can see that, right, the two numbers that we read from the file is 23 and 32, and if we add them together, we get 55. Something to note here is that, alright, we used try except to catch any errors that might occur when we read a file, and we give different error messages so that the user knows what went wrong. We can read from a text file. That is something we must remember for the future. And if we read something from a text file, it is a text. So if we want it as a number, we have to cast it into a number, which we do here. And the last thing to remember is to always close the file. If we have opened the file, we must close it.